Hi, I'm Dan with Gearwire, and we were going to take a look at discoDSP's Discovery. This is Discovery 2.7. You can get it off of the discoDSP site, discoDSP.com, for $99. You could also buy it as part of their Legacy collection. It comes with two of their other synths. So the Discovery, it's actually a reconstruction of a Clavia Nord Lead2. And since we have one, I thought we'd try it with an actual Clavia Nord Lead2. So basically, we got the Nord over here. We got the MIDI out going into our interface. It's a Lexicon Omega, and that's hooked up to Sonar. We have Discovery loaded up in there. So, well, basically, if we take a look at the Discovery and the Nord, looks pretty much the same. We have our LFO section up here, same as the Nord Lead2, and mod envelope, oscillator section, pan section. This is one section, this pan section right here. This is actually a section that isn't on the Nord. Up here we have our amplifier envelope, and over here we have our filter envelope. Over here, our delay section. Delay section is also, both these sections right here are not on the original, so this is extra that you would get with the reconstruction. So let's take a listen to these two. We have the Nord Lead2 set to the first patch. When you turn it on for the first time, this is the patch that it'll be loaded up to. I don't know if we were shooting the screen there, but if you can take a look at the screen, you can see that pitch bend moving. I'm moving that here. Now that happens with a lot of controllers, where it'll sense pitch bend and mod wheel. But this particular coupling, the Nord Lead2, actually this is 2X, and the Discovery will actually see that when I'm turning a knob on the Nord, any of these knobs, it'll move the knobs in the software version. So I'm going to take, let's say, the portamento knob. Turn that here, and you're going to see that it's turning in the software as well. So that's a little bit more, I mean, it's pre-mapped, it's pretty nice, and if you do have a Nord Lead, you can use it as a very well pre-mapped controller. You can also dump all of your patches that you've made on your Nord Lead2 into the Discovery using a sysx editing program. So we also have the Discovery on its first bank and first patch. Let's see what that sounds like. So, pretty different. Reason for that is we're not on the right bank. Discovery comes with preset banks that aren't exactly like the Nord Lead2X, but we do have banks that are made to basically have the same exact settings as the keyboard version. So let's see. Up here we have, that's on the factory for Disco Factory it's called. Here we go, here's the one we want. Factory 2X, because this is the Nord Lead2X. All right, so that'll bring us to that bank. Let's listen back to our hardware and go to the software. Sounds pretty similar. Let's change some of the knobs. We're going to go back to the sound of our hardware version. We're going to mess with the sound a little bit. And while we're doing that, we're not going to hear the software, but it will be changing along with these knobs. So it's changing the filter cutoff. I'm going to raise the resonance. Give it a little bit of velocity. That means the filter envelope is keying off velocity. I'm going to raise the attack time of the amplifier to sort of smooth out the attack. All right, and we're going to turn the keyboard tracking on so that as we go higher up on the keyboard, it will raise the filter cutoff frequency, so it won't, instead of getting duller up here, we turn that on. You can turn it on to 1/3, 2/3, or full. We'll put it on full. So we see that as we move up, the filter moves along with it to keep the sound bright. And raise the release time a little bit. Lower the sustain a little bit. And let's change one of the oscillators. So we can see they're both set to pulse waveforms. I'm going to make number 2 a square wave by turning up the pulse width. And then we'll make the first one a sine. See how that changes the sound. And turn up the portamento a little bit for glide. One thing that's cool about the Nord Lead2X is that, here I'll show you real quick. So we'll play an octave above that. You don't hear any glide, but if I hold down the first note and then press the second note, you do hear some glide. So again, if we just attack it separately, there's no glide. We can turn that off by hitting this auto button. So it was on auto, now it's off. So now we do hear that, and that's what I want to hear. Okay, I think we've changed it a good amount. Let's listen to what the software is, see how close it is. It's pretty close. Let's listen back again. So it's not perfect, but you know, it's similar in sound, and does a surprisingly good job, I would say. So another thing that the software can basically capture is patch change information. I'm going to go to patch 2, hear how that sounds on the hardware version. So last one was a monophonic patch, this is a polyphonic. Now we'll listen to the software. It's still decaying, or still releasing. That's too loud. So one of the things about this plugin is it can be really loud, and a lot of plugins can be too quiet. This is just the opposite. Not necessarily a great thing, but at least, you know, it's giving you more to work with. So the release seems a bit longer, but I can turn it down over here. Turn it up a little more. And go back to our hardware. Definitely the sound is a lot brighter. We're getting more of an filter sweep. Okay, one of the cool features of both the Nord and the Discovery is that it has a morph mode. If you take a look at the hardware, this LED over here shows that the modulation wheel is set to control the morph setting. And that's the same for the software. It's right here. And let's see. Basically what that does is it allows two states of all the settings to exist, and the wheel allows you to morph between them. So this particular patch has some settings already in there. So let's see what happens on the hardware. All right. So what it's doing is basically lowering, when you raise the morph, it's lowering the frequency. So basically it's doing the opposite of if you had the mod wheel set to filter sweep. And also what it's doing is LFO1 is set to a sample and hold. The knob isn't there, but in the background it's set to nothing when the mod wheel is down. As you raise the mod wheel, it's raising the amount. So let's listen to what that does again. All right, and now let's see what happens in the software. Okay, so we're not getting that same filter sweep out of it. We are getting the amount of the LFO, which is in it is set to sample and hold, which is correct. So we are getting that to change, and it's controlling the filter in both of these. But yeah, it's not really doing the exact same thing. One other difference is that the pitch bend on the hardware always goes up 1 octave, as well as down. On the software, we're able to control that. Default for just about every patch is just a standard 2 semitone. But we can change that to any value in between 0 and 24, or 2 octaves. So if we set it to 12, we got the exact same range as the hardware. But we could also set it above that, all the way up to 24. So that's a nice little thing that Discovery adds that isn't right there for you on the Nord. Also, because it's software, there's other things we can do for it. Instead of having to, if we want to set different morph values, instead of having to hit the assign key and changing it there, we can just hold down Control. I'm going to change this knob right here. Hold down Control. And I'm not sure if you can see that. It's kind of hard to see. There's a lighter colored line that moves. So that's controlling the morph value. So that's another little advantage you get because it's software. The panning we also get. Let's try that out. So we're listening to the software. Pan it left, pan it right, and you can modulate it. Control the rate and the amount. You also get your stereo delay. We raise the level up. I'm going to turn down the release just so we're able to hear it. Set to a pretty short delay time. Raise that up. So we can get, since we have control over the different lengths, left and right, we're able to get like those staggery stereo effects that are so popular. Can also do cross feedback. Another thing that the Discovery has over the Nord is distortion. We have distortion on the Nord, but only one kind. It's right here, So let's listen to it without. On that patch, it's pretty subtle. We'll go to a different patch. So it's a pretty subtle distortion. We'll go back to the software. We have 3 different types of distortion on here. Asymmetrical, that's the one that turns on and off when you control it from the Nord. And that sounds like this. Turn down that arpeggio. All right, turn on the delay as well. All right, there we go. There's also symmetrical and a second form of asymmetrical. So that's a bit more dirty. If we take another look at the Nord Lead, we can take a look at the different types of filters. Right now, we are set to a low-pass filter with a 20 decibel per octave roll-off. We can set that to, both of these are lit up, we're going bandpass. So that's taking out both highs and lows. Also a high pass at 24 decibels per octave. So to control the frequency cutoff, you get more of the bass frequencies. And then one that we didn't go over was a low pass with 12 dB roll off, so it's just more of a gentle roll off compared to the low pass of 24. And then there's a notch plus LP. What that's taking out is just taking out a small range of frequencies along with a low pass filter. All right, and if we take a look at the Discovery, we can see another place where it differs from the Nord. The types of filters we have that are on the Nord are low pass at 12, low pass at 24, high pass at 24, band pass at 24. It's pretty much the same thing as the band pass in there, but they just go on to say that it's a 24 decibels per octave curve. Band reject, that's sort of like the notch, but it's a larger amount of room. So let's see what that sounds like, the band reject. Turn off that distortion. It's kind of like a wah-wah type thing. As a gentler high pass as well, which the Nord does not have. And also a formant. Now, formants are basically sets of harmonics that cause our voices basically give shape to the sounds of our voices. So like A would have a certain set of harmonics, E would have another certain sort of harmonics. And so basically this is a formant filter, so it's a series of harmonics. And you can use the frequency and resonance control to kind of shape the vowel sound. Turn that down a little bit. You can kind of hear that. And a phaser. So this is a series of notch filters. It says there are 8. So there could be 4 or 8, doesn't specify. Let's see what that sounds like. So that's kind of like a phaser, and if we wanted to get sort of a phaser sound but automatically, we can assign our LFO1, we'll put it on a triangle waveform, because that's what most classic phasers use, and have it modulate the filter. And there we have it, and turn up the amount. So we're sort of getting sort of a phaser type of sound. So that is the discovery in comparison with the Nord Lead2X. I hope you enjoyed this program. Thanks for checking it out.